Hey, what's going on, guys? YouTube folks, Belton here, back with the second part of our testing strategy. Thank you, Twitch chat. Back with the second part of our testing strategy. Earlier, I posted a video turning in 500 sets of the Mad King as a means to test out a hypothesis I had surrounding the Adorn Jewel. So this is a continuation of that and the second part of our video, similar to our video series, I suppose. Similar to the first one with the Mad King, which I'll link below the video in the description and at the end in case you missed that one. We will have a spreadsheet talking about the return here. So if we take a look here, I put together a spreadsheet where we are seeking to quantify specifically the average return afforded by turning in sets of the Adorned. So what's going on here? You can see that I have taken every single value of the Adorned. The roll potential is 50 to 150. As you can see here on my actual build, I am using a perfect one with 150%. And you can see here that the range is 50 to 150. So that means that there are 101 total potential outcomes. And if we take a look at the sheet here, we have each one of these marked down. One thing of note is that you can see here we've got 1 to 98 marked down as a sale price of 0. The reason for that is that these are the values where they're not actually going to sell. Obviously, so many sets of the Adorned get turned in, and people want to have a baseline value because of the market supply being so high. Of course, the ones that are to the very low end, they're not actually functionally going to sell. So this is included in the data. These are totaled into the 101 potential outcomes. However, they are not being assigned any value. This makes the data accurate as the market actually unfolds. One thing that's a caveat, of course, is that the sale price of these is obviously going to fluctuate throughout the course of the league. If I publish this spreadsheet, which will originally just be a part of the Patreon tier 3 members, but at a certain point I might make it publicly available. I do have it color coded here, so that the yellow cells are ones where you have to manually enter the data. The green cells are automatically calculated, and the red one is just sort of null and void. These are the useful Adorned breakpoints. So if you're rolling a jewel and you have this value on here, so for example, you have, let's say, 7% life, right? The breakpoint you need to have 7% life go to 17%, which is the maximum roll that you can get from an Adorned. Do I have any of those here? I can show you that here on the character. So 7% life, as we can see here. If we actually equip it on our character, you can see if I hover over there, it's 17% life. Now I do have 150% Adorned, right? So obviously I'm going to get the max roll possible each time. However, if you are interested in being able to save some money, or you want a more budget version if you can't afford a perfect one, here are the breakpoints depending on obviously the integer value that is rolled on the magic jewel. Coming over to the right side here, you can see that we have the cost per Adorned, and in continuation for the first part of our video, this is on the basis or the assumption that you will be assembling the Adorned by putting together the 4 aspects. So the current market price of each one of those aspects is Beauty, which is the left piece, are 6 to 1 divine. Cooperation, the right piece, are half a div each. Ambition, the middle piece, are 2 divines each. And Curiosity, the bottom piece, are 13.5 divs. So that means currently the market price to assemble a single Adorned is 16.17 divines. Now, taking the price of each individual jewel or outcome and then dividing it by the total amount of possibilities, which is 101, the actual real value per Adorned currently is 20.07 divines, which means the EV, or the average return that you will get, law of large numbers done on a infinite sample size. Now, obviously, variance and distribution are never going to be exactly this, but if you were to do it infinitely, the net expected value is plus 3.9 divines per Adorned assembled. And then right here, you can see I actually have 104 total sets. Again, 101 sets would be the average it would take to hit 150%. I happen to have 104 of them. So the total cost of the sets, or the total value of the individual aspects that I have, is 1,681 divines. and the average expected return is 2,087 divines. And so on average, we would be making 405.87 divines of profit by turning these in here. So that's what we're dealing with at the moment. And so you can see here, I put together all of these sets already so that I can just quickly assemble them. So despite the fact many people often protest that there's too many preambles or the full testing ones are far too drawn out, this should actually be a pretty rapid, kind of high stakes process here. And so with that being said, I will now hide my whispers and we can get started. Wish me luck, fellas. 109, 136, 68, 120, 63, 147. 147 is an important one. That's the break point for 136, 83, 68, 79, 120, 78, 137, 86, 59, 101, 105, 142, 50%. Okay, so that's the absolute lowest roll that you could possibly get. Obviously, each individual value, they're all equally weighted, so you're just as likely to get a 112% as you are. Oh my god. No way that just happened. No way that just happened. I've denied the signs for far too long. I am God. All the evidence has been there. Wow. Okay. Sorry. YouTube folks, that is just crazy. You know what? Twitch chat. The folks on Twitch chat said it looks more 69. The folks on Twitch chat said I should hide Twitch chat because it looks more professional, but I think it's more fun to watch their reactions as we go through these as well. 120%, so I'll keep Twitch chat up. 54%. What I was gonna say before 150, baby, let's go. Oh, yes, I am God, hear me roar.
Damn, boy, he's thick, boy. That's a thick ass boy.
Okay. Nice. All right, we got the 150. It's worth pointing out here, guys, for anyone watching on YouTube and for the folks on Twitch that are less mathematically inclined. If you were to because if you look up, sorry, I'll pull up the thing here. If you're to look at the distribution of the values on this, you can see that the 150 roll is 440 divs, and then the next one down is 149. So it is pretty heavily weighted. Like the value of a 150% roll, pretty much it doesn't carry, but it gives a great deal of the value to every other jewel, right? And so because I just hit that so early, if my sole prerogative right now were to profit, this is where I should stop. Because this is a YouTube video and because I'm a Giga Chad, we're obviously going to turn the rest of them in. But it is worth pointing out, if you were to do a similar thing yourself, this would be mathematically the time where one should likely stop. But we'll continue on, of course. 89, 50, another 50%. Second time we got that. What I was going to say, sorry, before hitting the exact number I called out and then hitting a 150, was that obviously each individual value has the same likelihood of appearing. So it's not like 150 is any rarer than, as I said at that moment, 112. However, of course, hitting the very bottom value and hitting the very top end value, it has some sort of mental, not mental impact, but you notice it. Of course, we've hit two perfectly bad ones, 250%, and we've hit the 150%. 146. The ones that I'm control clicking into my inventory are the ones that are above 140. In case that wasn't obvious. $120. Sorry, I'll read them out in case these are hard to see. 138. 91. 134. 107. 94. 84. 128. 141. 68. 67. 111. 121. 144. 122. 122. 88. 63. 96. 120. 94. 72. 111. 112. That's funny. Two in a row. 58. 107. 51. Wow, we've got 50% twice, and then we've got 51 or 52 at least 4 or 5 times now. 76. 91. We've got that before too. 84. 120. We've also hit that one before. 124. 51 again. Wow. 107. So regardless of what the outcome in 146. Regardless of what the outcome in, oh my god. Yes!
Damn, boy. Damn, boy! He's thick.
Chad.
Boy, that's a thick-ass
Chad. Yeah. Yo, call me Giga Charles, baby. Giga Chad's my street name, but we moving up. We moving on up. All right, another 150. 98. 147. Again, that's a break point. 108. 141. 79. 140. I don't know why I control clicked the 79 there. All right. Huge profit. Yeah, definitely some big profit coming in here, guys. So, yeah, for those of you who just like watching the gamble, that part of the video is done now. Now we're going to do the calculations for the people watching on YouTube. This is obviously going to take a minute, but bear with me. I'll go as quickly as I can here. All right, window capture. Sorry for the my webcam. I'll make myself a little smaller here. Actually, you know what I can do here? All right, so, oh, you know what? Maybe I should do this. Actually, we should do a. I'll add a column here. Insert a column to the left, and then insert a column to the left, and then we'll put a sale price, and then put hits. And that way we can calculate it easier. All right, so we got 150 times 2, and then we got, let's see, 147, 145, 146, 146, 47, 44, So we got two 147s. Two 147s. We got two 146s. Got one 145. One 144. One 142. Two 141s. We got two 140s. And so, which equals, let's see, E32 times F32. And then we can drag that all the way up. And then we'll put a total. Plus plus B7 through B32. Oh, sorry, not B7, C7. All right. I'll put these, the 140s are the only ones that I'll separate specifically. The other ones we can just calc. All right, so we'll do, for this will be a more efficient way of doing it, 139%. Oh, here, I'll move them all into the same tab. First things first. Oops. All right, 139, 138. We got two 138s. Here, I'll put this up in the corner here. We got two 138s. $137, two of those. 36, three 136s. I'll do three at a time. Three 136, 3, 1, 2. Zero, zero, zero. Zero, two, zero, two, one. One, zero, one. I got to insert another column to the left here. Insert column to the left. Okay, 2, 2, 0, 2. 2, 0, 2, which equals a B 32 times C 32. We gotta drag that up here. 80. We're at what, 121? Okay. We got 2. Holy cow, 2. Wow, let me do this separately. Okay, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holy shit. Dude, we got 7 of the same number. That's crazy. 9, 1, 0, 0. Okay, we got, what's that? 116, 0, 0, 0. Zero, 2, 2. Zero, 3, 1. Three, 0, 3. 0, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. And that means we have we can just actually add the sum up here. Equals 29. 28, that's 57, so there's 43 of these, which again, we're assigning 0 value to. All right, so for the people watching on YouTube, just so you know, fairly high stakes game here. If you guys recall, I made a bet with chat back during the 1 week Lake of Calandra race, where if I did not craft a +6 charge ring, I would shave my head, which I did do. I ended up failing that. Before we started this video, I told Twitch chat if anyone can guess what the exact amount of divines within 2 divs that are total, like what the total accumulative result would be in divines, that I would shave my beard. So that value, gentlemen, is 2,582. 2,582. Now, if we look mathematically, gentlemen, we have made a killing right here. What do we have that as the total size? 20. We have made, all right, and that means actual profit. $20 and bolded. Equals H33 minus N24, 25. We have made 901.27 divines. 901.27 divines of profit from turning in those card sets. That's almost double. You can see here our average expected profit, 405 divines. Our actual profit, 901. Of course, we got quite lucky here, right? We hit the 152 times. Just for the sake of curiosity, let's say I only hit it one time, right? Because on average, we would only hit it once. You could see even with hitting it one time, our profit is still 461 divs, right? So obviously hitting it twice put us far out of the ballpark, but you can see with our average expected profit of 405, if we did hit it on, and you have to keep in mind the average would be what, 50 to 150 means the average return would be the average roll would be a 100, right? So we can put the average roll to a 100 right there, so that it's still 104 total. And you can see our actual profit 462, which is of course quite close to the average expected. The more amount that you turn in, of course, the closer it will be to the average, right? This is all mathematically assured, similar to a casino, right? Casino, the house always wins as a matter of mathematical certainty, because obviously the law of large numbers applies. This was an incredible return for us. So we just made 901 divines in, how long is this video so far? 25 minutes. Obviously, this took me a little while to put together because of the spreadsheet and because of Twitch chat. Having a collective IQ of comparable to that of the liquor that they drink, but to the proof of the liquor they drink. Shout out to Twitch chat. But joking aside, this in reality, assembling these sets probably would take, if you counted the time, it took me about 15 minutes to buy the cards. To turn in the cards took me probably, let's say 20 minutes. And then to assemble the sets took about 15, to price check them another 10. So let's say 25, 45. It would take under an hour to do this, right? So in under an hour, we would have made 901 divines profit. And from the original set turn-in, we did... if you're following up from the previous video with the Mad King turn-ins, we turned in 500 card sets for a cost of 700 divs, and we had 706 divines return. So the card sets are basically equal. And what we were really testing there is what the probability of each aspect is. But as a continuation to that, the profit 901 divines based on what was spent there in the sets. So very, very big profit. And again, that was in an hour. So 901 divines per hour. Obviously, this is not something you're going to be able to repeat infinitely. And of course, I assume when this video got published or gets published, these numbers will naturally go down. Or they will, if they do not go down, they will at least be, holy cow. They will at least be, they'll be different, right? It depends. Of course, it could actually go up in price if the price of aspect spikes from people running into this. Be sure that you do your own due diligence, guys. Don't, I feel like I've laid out the reasoning for this quite well, and showed how it was, demonstrably and mathematically profitable. However, there's, of course, a good deal of due diligence conducted on my part prior to doing this. And if you are going to replicate it, I suggest that you do the same. Or at the very least, do not leave a comment yelling at me because you spent 45 divines per adorned, or 45 divines per 4 aspects, and you ended up losing money, because that happens very often, and every time I lose a little bit of faith in humanity. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For the next part of our series, following up with the whole continuation of the hypothesis I developed in the first video with the Mad King. To restate that here, in case you didn't see the previous video, what I asserted at the beginning was 500 sets of the Mad King to turn in, because each set will give an aspect that can be used to make the Adorned. I believe the Adorned is currently undervalued due to cheap aspects being given by card sets that were dropping en masse with the early divination card farming strategies. It's also a very late stage build item on the high end, as 1 passive voices are 2 mirrors each. And the absolute min-max version of this build, not that I'm using the absolute min-max, but you can see I have 150% Adorned, as well as 2 1-passive voices, along with, of course, triple implicit jewels and whatnot. So the very high end of this for the average player, of course, I play I play a lot, and I'm pretty good at making money. So it's not, the fact that I have this set up more or less right now is not reflective necessarily of the overall player base. But in general, the market for this is going to be something that is going to be later stage focused towards the league. I know a lot of people tend to gauge their interest or their view of how progressed the league is based on, thought leaders or PoE influencers or streamers or whoever it is. The reality is that most leagues are at least 3 months. In recent memory, they've been closer to 4 months each. I myself play the entire league from the first day to the last day, and I always take a 4-month perspective of each league, right? And so, of course, if your decision-making process has to be subjectively tailored to the fact that you only intend on playing for 1 month, of course, you're going to make different decisions. However, the objective reality is that it's a 4-month league, and I'm going to proffer advice based on the game as it is, not the game as you play it. So do keep that in mind as I read this out here. Yeah, so the build item on a high end as one passive voices are currently 2 mirrors each. However, these types of late stage items always hold their value well, and they tend to be appreciating assets. Furthermore, the lock on magic item craft makes corrupted implicits basically free and controllable. I do not think the market is reacting to this appropriately. The test, and when I say this test in this little writing that is from the Mad King video, is a first step in the supply chain that I am collecting data on to either support or to invalidate my hypothesis. So the first video, as I talked about the supply chain, the first video is getting the aspects. You can obviously do that through boss killing. In our case, we were doing it through the Mad King because that's a way that you can do it en masse very quickly. And so we made that first video, and this is the second step in that same supply chain. Following suit with that, we are testing, again, the purpose of this, by the way, is so that you guys can see how it is I come up with what I'm doing, right? Often I just tell you guys the results, but the process of kind of leading up to that is basically what I want to draw out into several steps in this video series, right? And so you can see there's lots of underlying data for both the first step, the second step. Of course, I have an assertion at the beginning, which I'm basing on some inductive reasoning as well as my experience. And at each step, we're trying to codify or quantify each phase of it. And so first step, of course, getting the aspects. Second step, assembling the Adorned. The profit for that, again, just to restate, was we made 901 Divines profit doing that ourselves. And the next step to that, once you have the jewel, is, of course, the process of making the magic jewels. Now, I have, of course, prepared ahead of time for this. And you can see I have a bunch of magic jewels ready here. And as well, earlier on in the league, I did manually synthesize, since that is a basic requirement now to get most triple synthesis jewels. You can see I've manually synthesized over 100 jewels. Furthermore, I do have a few of them that are completed as well. I have a couple near perfect ones right here that I will be making our next video on, just to express or to demonstrate the next stage of this, which is the assembly of the jewels to go along with the Adorned. Of course, there is the process of getting a 1 passive voices or a 3 passive voices. You can just do this with a regular large cluster jewel too, of course, or you could even just use regular jewel sockets. However, since most builds are basically mandated into using Forbidden Flesh and Flame, as well as Watcher's Eye, and of course the Adorned itself, without using some kind of cluster, you're likely going to have a difficulty being able to fit in the jewels in an efficient way. So naturally, there's nothing for me to do with respect to the 1 passive voices, 3 passive voices, so that won't be included in this series. However, the magic jewels will be the next step. And so stay tuned for that. If you guys like these kind of videos, let me know. And again, the point here is to show the whole process of thinking out an idea, proving whether or not it works, using math to support that, using some logic and some inductive reasoning, and then coming to a conclusion at the end. Of course, this is being done within the purviews of the Adorned, but I'd be happy to make more videos like this in the future with other different ideas. If that's something you guys would be interested on YouTube, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Anything else, appreciate it. If you like the video, would appreciate a sub. And yeah, thanks a lot, boys. Talk to you soon. Peace.